That Book Woman by Heather Henson. Pictures by David Small. That Book Woman. That Book Woman. Heather Henson. Pictures by David Small. Athenian books for young readers. New York, London, Toronto, and Sydney. My folks and me, we live way up, as up can get. We hardly sight a soul, except hawks a winging in the sky, and critters hid among the trees. My name is Cal, and I'm not the first one, nor the least one neither, but I am the oldest boy, and I can help Pap with the plowing, and I can fetch the sheep when they take a wander. And I can bring the cow home too, come evening time, which is right handy, seeing as how my sister, Lark, will keep her nose atwixt the pages of a book, day break to dusky dark, if Mama would allow. Readingest child you ever did see. That's what Pap says. Not me. I was not born to sit so stony still, a-staring at some chicken scratch, and I do not fancy it one bit when Lark plays teacher, the onlyest school a jillion miles back down the creek. And even Lark can hardly spread her wings and fly. So now she aims to school us herself. But me, I'm no scholar boy. That's why I'm the first to hear the clippity-clop and spy the sorrel mare, red as clay. I'm the first to know the rider is no man at all, but a lady wearing breeches for all the world to see. Of course, we make that stranger kindly welcome, and she's friendly as can be. And after sips of sassy tea, she lays her saddlebag upon the table, and what spills out might just as well be gold, the way Lark's eyes shine, penny bright, the way her hands, they won't keep still, reaching out to grab a treasure. Now what that lady brings is sure no treasure, not to me, but books. Would you believe? A passel of books she's packed clear up the mountainside. A hard day's ride, and all for naught, I reckon. For if she aims to sell her wares just like the tinker man who travels round with pots and pans and such, it's but a plain and simple fact we have no greenbacks here, no shiny coins to spend, leastways not on dumb old books. Well, Pap, he takes one look at Lark and clears his throat. A trade, he says, a poke of berries for one book. My hand double fist behind my back. I yearn to speak, but daren't. It is the very poke I picked for pie, not books. To my surprise, that lady shakes her head real firm. She will not take a poke of berries, nor a mess of greens, nor anything Pap names to trade. These books are free. As free as air. Not only that, why 2 weeks to the day she'll come again to swap these books for more. Now me, I do not care one hoot for what that book woman has carried round, and it would not bother me at all if she forgot the way back to our door. But here she'll come right through the rain and fog and cold. That horse of hers sure must be brave, I reckon. Well, it comes on a time the world turns white as Grandpap's beard. The wind, it shrieks like bobcats do deep inside the dark of night. So here we sit, tucked round the fire. No thought to howdy-do's this day. Why, even critters of the wild will keep ahead come snow like this. But sakes alive, we hear a tap, tap, tap upon the window glass. And there she be, wrapped tip to toe. She makes her trade, right through the crack to keep us folks from catching cold. And when Pap bids her to stay the night, she only shakes her head. My horse will see me home, she says. I stand a spell to watch that bookwoman disappear. And thoughts, they go a swirling round inside my head, just like the whirly flakes outside the door. It's not the horse alone that's brave, I reckon, but the rider too. All at once, I yearn to know what makes that bookwoman risk catching cold, or worse. I pick a book with words and pictures too, and I hold it out. Teach me what it says. And Lark, she does not laugh or even tease, but makes a place, and quiet like, we start to read. Pap says it's written in the signs how long or short the winter stays. This year, the signs, they all foretold the deepest snow, of cold eternal. And even though most days we're tight as toes, pinched into bottom shoes, I do not mind. A puzzlement, I know, but true. Well, it's nigh on spring before that bookwoman can stop to visit a spell, and Mama makes a gift, the only precious thing she can, her recipe for berry pie, which is the best grub earthly. Not much I know for all your trouble, Mama says, and then her voice goes low with pride, and for making 2 readers out of 1. I duck my head and wait till the very last to speak my mind. Wish there was something I could give you too. And that bookwoman turns to look at me with big dark eyes. Come here, Cal, she says real gentle, and I come close. Read me something. I open up the book I'm holding, a new one, brought this very day. Just chicken scratch, I used to figure. But now I see what's truly there, and I read a little out. That's gift enough, she says, and smiles so big, it makes me smile right back. This story was inspired by the true and courageous work of the packhorse librarians, who were known as bookwomen in the Appalachian Mountains of Kentucky. The Packhorse Library Project was founded in the 1930s as part of President Franklin D. Roosevelt's Works Progress Administration in order to bring books to remote regions where there were few schools and no libraries. High in the hills of Kentucky, roads were often just creek beds or rough trails. A bookwoman would travel by horse or by mule the same arduous route every 2 weeks, carrying a load of books in good weather and in bad. To show their gratitude for what came free as air, a family might make a gift from what little they had: garden vegetables, wildflowers, berries, or cherished recipes passed down through generations. While there were a few men among the packhorse librarians, the jobs were mainly filled by women. In a time when most people felt that a woman's work was in the home, the bookwomen were remarkable in their resilience and their dedication. They were paid very little, but they were proud of what they did, bringing the outside world to the people of Appalachia and sometimes making readers out of those who had never seen much use for chicken scratch. In Kentucky, creek beds and trails eventually became roads. Horses and mules gave way to the kind of bookmobiles that still exist today. All across the country, dedicated librarians continue to bring books to folks who need them. The following resources will help you learn more about the kind of bookwoman portrayed in these pages. Websites: the Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives, www.kdla.ky.gov. The New Deal Network, newdeal.feri.org, and the Franklin D. Roosevelt Library and Museum at www.fdrlibrary.marist.gov. plenty of books about this too. This is dedicated to the mother of the author, her very first bookwoman, and to the Sarah of the illustrator, his bookwoman, Heather Henson and David Small.